hello again, another Agakala React, and today we'll be watching 10 sci-fi movie mistakes you never noticed before, from what culture? And, let's see. Have I seen the movie? That's one, and then have I seen the mistake? Have I noticed the mistake? I probably didn't, but we'll see.
The slightest slip-up in a sci-fi film can derail the movie's attempt to create a believable world for its action. There are countless examples of classic sci-fi films that let a few mistakes escape their grasp. This list is here to run down the oddest oversights and most unexpected mistakes that you never spotted in big-budget sci-fi films.
What is this movie?
Because I am Gareth, this is What Culture, and here are 10 sci-fi movie mistakes you never noticed. Number 10, The Thing breaking down the door. Now, to be fair to John Carpenter, the man had a lot of plates spinning when he filmed 1982's The Thing. Featuring some of the most impressive practical effects work ever committed to film, the intense Antarctic set paranoid sci-fi horror sees a small crew of scientists infiltrated by a body-hopping alien monster. The tense plot works thanks to some incredible character work by the sparse cast. But it's Rob Bottin's fantastic effects that are the star of this show. Endlessly impressive, these gory innovations saw the technician hospitalized.
Alright, wow, that was a quick ad, isn't it? Wow. Hopefully it's just a quick one too. Well, The Thing is a movie that, it's a scary movie, but it's a science fiction movie, so I can watch. I have problem with the scary movies that they more focusing on people and what those people can do to other people. I have problem with that. I don't know exactly why. It's something about just being more believable and, you know, just I don't know, just trying to believe it that people are not as bad, and watching like those all horrors and stuff like that. We're gonna be more when there's like an aliens and things like that. Yeah, that's not going to that's not happening. No. So I can watch those, but in the case of the movies when there is like, let's say, I know I'm kind of sounding ridiculous in that, but it's just, I know, The Thing is just something that obviously it's kind of scary for me, but I have no problem watching it. When, let's say, there would be Friday the 13th or Halloween or something like that, I can't watch those. No, thank you.
For exhaustion, due to the incredible hours he put into them during shooting. Yeah. So it's understandable that some small background details were ignored during the shoot. Take the scene late in the film wherein Childs axes a door to bits, breaking a huge hole in its center. When he comes back later though, the hole is now tiny and in a totally different area, prompting him to hack at the door all over again. Wouldn't have been necessary if he just stuck with the same prop you used in the earlier scene, would it, Charles? Number 9, The Running Man, Arnie's POV camera. Released in 1987, The Running Man was a crazy prescient slice of sci-fi satire that saw a wrongfully imprisoned Arnold Schwarzenegger offered a chance at freedom by partaking in a hellish dystopian tournament.
I remember, I think
based
it's
on the Stephen King story of the same
they're
name.
remaking it now, isn't it?
Follows his desperate escape across America, pursued by countless cartoonish would-be assassins, as the entire ordeal is broadcast live to viewers across the country. An obvious inspiration for both Battle Royale and the Hunger Games, this ingenious sci-fi thriller is propulsive and witty good fun, but it's still not free from some odd mistakes. Just look at one scene late in the film's action. When Arnie is finally caught at the end of the climax, the news footage of his capture is filmed from his point of view. But whilst the movie viewers are able to see things through his POV thanks to the magic of cinema, I mean it makes sense in our heads, how did a news crew get their hands on this impossible footage? It's not like Arnie had been carrying a camera this entire time, so how is the news crew able to view events from his own eyes?
That's a good point.
Guess the future of tech really is bright, eh? And while we're talking about Arnie movies, what is your favourite Schwarzenegger film of all time? You let me know in the comment section down below. Number 8, The Cave, The Magic Mouthpieces. Released in 2005, The Cave is a sci-fi action horror which boasts the honour of being the second best cave set thriller of that year. Now that sounds worse than it is, but no one was going to beat The Descent, was it? At least it's better than the same year's The Cavern. This spelunking sci-fi sees our nominal heroes, including Game of Thrones' Lena Headey and Coyote Ugly star Piper Perabo, deep diving into an unexplored cave system and accidentally disturbing a legion of flying, sightless monsters. What a nightmare. What's a crew to do but dip into the icy water and brave its depths then? Of course, the characters quickly pop in their mouthpieces in order to breathe safely underwater whilst diving. They then continue to talk for the rest of this scene. A feat which is literally impossible with a mouthpiece in.
Yeah.
Very impressive though, yeah? It's a particularly jarring mistake as the dialogue of the scene must have been ADR'd in after filming. Since the actors wouldn't have been able to talk through their mouthpieces. As such, it's hard to see how the filmmakers were able to overlook this. But they did. Number 7, The X-Files, Mulder's Mysterious Paper. Mulder and Scully were always on the trail of some mystery or international conspiracy in both the original X-Files series and the spin-off films. But the duo would probably have trouble working out this strange mistake from their own feature film released in 1998. In a mystery worthy of the film's pair of enigma-debunking FBI agents, the newspaper that Mulder is reading on a park bench consists of a cover page, followed by endless blank sheets where the article should be. It could potentially be a prop that no one bothered to fill in. But let's give the film a little more credit, eh? Presumably this periodical is just written in invisible ink, and its pages include some of the answers to the many mysteries left behind by the series over the years. Like, why did the writers think Scully being impregnated by an alien would be a clever twist? It's hard to believe this and so many more answers are hidden on those blank pages, man. Yep, they're all there. Number 6, Godzilla, the Emergency Epinephrine. Released in 2014, Gareth Edwards' Godzilla was a divisive entry into the long-running kaiju franchise. The monster's director brought a more somber and serious tone to proceedings than his campier predecessors, like Roland Emmerich's 1998 effort. However, some viewers felt the film went too far in this darker direction and ended up dour and mean-spirited. In any case, the movie's biggest shock featured a pretty glaring mistake, which stands out in a creature feature that wanted to be taken more seriously than most. When Bryan Cranston's heroic scientist Brody bites the bullet early on in proceedings, he's severely sick moments before dying. Luckily, a group of paramedics are on hand to help, and soon the viewer knows just how serious things are when one character demands that our ailing hero Brody get an emergency dose of epinephrine. And whilst he may be in atrial fibrillation, if the pre-existing problems weren't enough to kill him, that incorrect dose certainly would be. He doesn't need a milligram of epinephrine, but rather 0.5 milligrams. Now this may sound like splitting hairs a bit, but it can be the difference between life and death, particularly when a 2015 medical report found that an excessive dose of epinephrine can actually cause the atrial fibrillation he's already suffering. At least we know.
It's a massive.
Wow, it's a lot of ads. Wow. So obviously I've seen that one, the Godzilla, but I can't remember much of it. So I'm not sure. I know it's in the part of the recent ones as well. It's all kind of like connected, isn't it? But I really don't remember much of that one. And the one with the cave thing, definitely haven't seen it. And what else was there? The Thing, I've seen it multiple times. I've seen the prequel as well, and I actually enjoyed it quite well. That prequel was pretty good. There were some problems with it, but I still enjoyed it. So, yeah. I can't really add much to this. Like, the Running Man, obviously, yeah, that's a rather big problem with the fact that they're showing it from the point of view of the man that takes part in it, but there's no cameras, yeah. Or not even glasses or something like that with the mini camera. They could have kind of faked that ahead, isn't it? And, I don't know what else. This thing, epinephrine. I thought epinephrine is for allergies. I'm mistaken, obviously, so... epinephrine might be for something else, but I can't remember what it is for now.
Died now. Thanks for giving this mistake-filled video a watch today, my friend. And if you're enjoying what you're watching, then hit that subscribe button down below for more of this what culture stuff in your life. Now back to the video. Number 5, Species, Docile Females. Okay, so 1995 Species was never going to be all that scientifically accurate, was it? The sci-fi horror sees a human-alien hybrid, which is part supermodel, part xenomorph ripoff, trying to find a human male to mate with. Meanwhile, a set of cops and scientists
that's from it?
to stop
How I forgot about it. I definitely seen this one.
The city's male population. Luckily, early on in proceedings, one of said scientists informs a character that, as a female of the species, Syl should be docile. Which is great news. Except that, as any zoologist could tell you, it's males that are the docile ones. Don't worry though, this is just a small oversight that's true in the case of, all known species, right? Despite what you might guess as a viewer, or say, I don't know, a screenwriter, although males are often larger, they're also typically slower. As such, it is usually females who are the aggressive/protective ones, and males are docile despite this film's claims. So no wonder Syl is so far from docile. Maybe the movie just isn't that inaccurate after all. Number 4, The Faculty, Zeke's Magical Clothes. Released in 1998, action legend and Planet Terror director Robert Rodriguez's The Faculty was the director's first attempt at a sci-fi horror film, and it's arguably even more fun than that later, gorier Grindhouse installment. Starring a still impressive cast including Elijah Wood, Jordana Brewster, and Clea Duvall as its mismatched set of teen heroes, the movie saw a group of students attempt to stop some parasitic body snatchers. Oh, that just happened too, huh? Don't you just hate it when that happens? The grotesque face invaders start with the titular faculty, but soon it's spread to students and it's hard to know who is still human, particularly when some of the students are seemingly magic. Just look at the violent skirmish which sees school drug dealer / our hero Zeke shoved into a fish tank by the Daily Show's Jon Stewart no less. As the tank smashes, he's drenched from head to foot, but when he emerges from the classroom a few moments later, Zeke's entire outfit is dry instantaneously, and it's never addressed or mentioned by any other characters after the fact. So let's just accept that he's magic and move on. Number 3, Predator 2, Half the Man He Used to Be. Released only a few years after Arnie and his crack team of commandos faced off against the titular threat in the jungle, Predator 2 was an ingenious relaunch of the action sci-fi horror thriller series. The second film in the series transported the action from the rainforest to the near-future concrete jungle of LA, and replaced Arnie and his tough nut unit with a set of inner-city cops led by Lethal Weapon star Danny Glover. Fortunately, the actor proved he definitely wasn't too old for this S-word, by hunting down the human hunter in a sequel that more than matched the original for gory, inventive action and tense set pieces. And yes, this list can forgive the dated movie's depiction of the faraway future that is, 1997. But the mistake highlighted here is a more specific misstep. During one fight, the titular monster splits an unfortunate victim in two during a gruesome action spectacle. The bottom half of the body soon thuds to the floor upon being bisected, only for no top half to follow. So is the poor guy's torso and head just still floating off screen, or what happened here? Number 2, Bloodshot, Vin Diesel's teleportation. Right, so let's face it, 2020 flop Bloodshot was pretty much nothing but a mistake from start to finish, wasn't it? Another in a string of underwhelming outings from Fast and Furious franchise star Vin Diesel, this sci-fi horror action thriller attempted to be all things to all audiences. The effort went about as well as that 4-genre combination sounds like it would. Like most multi-genre mashups,
I've definitely seen this, but honestly didn't make any impression on me. I can't remember anything about it.
This violent sci-fi would have been a lot better if it didn't make textbook mistakes in areas as simple as the film's damn setting. It's a globe-trotting narrative, sure, but when the pitch-black hero leaves his house in England, he's suddenly pursued through the streets of South Africa by South African police. So when did he gain the ability to teleport halfway across the damn world? And why doesn't he use this to evade the law? That would be a useful tool. Or, potentially more likely in this plot, how did the filmmakers forget which country their own film scene was set in between two shots? Number 1, Jurassic Park, The Vanishing Goat Leg. Jaws director Steven Spielberg made a triumphant, more ambitious return to the monster movie genre with 1993's Jurassic Park. The classic story of a theme park entrepreneur who really shouldn't have shortchanged his overworked IT consultant. That's a bad move right there. The film was an instant classic and one of my personal favorites of all time. A thrilling adventure whose impressive ensemble cast saw screen veterans like Laura Dern, Sam Neill and Jeff Goldblum ground the far-fetched action with charm and humor. But let's be real, between the innovative CGI and Stan Winston's groundbreaking practical effects, it was the dinosaurs that were the real stars of this show. The T-Rex in particular made a ferocious first impression, eating a goat off screen in early proceedings. He wasn't seen in all his glory until far later, when that goat's leg came crashing onto the roof of the screaming kid's Jeep. The gruesome surprise was intended to herald the arrival of the ravenous predator, but look a bit closely when it lands. The leg hits the roof and splatters the glass with blood. The kids scream and then the leg and its blood vanish a few seconds later, never to be seen again. More magic. This time it's Jurassic magic. But all the vanishing goat legs in the world will never devour my love for this movie. You are forgiven, Spielberg, as you were.
Well, yeah, some of those mistakes were definitely quite bad, but you know what, I'm kind of looking at yeah, it can happen. There's a lot of people working on it, they doing multiple shots of the same thing, and it's just not always gonna be the same way, and it's just a movie. If it's not something that is supposed to be like true to what happened and stuff like that, I'm actually okay with mistakes like that. Are you? Thank you very much for watching, and I see you tomorrow. Bye!